Hi and welcome to MK Sportscars. We're going to be talking about this, the Sprint 185. So lovely little car, brand new component car. This is all brand new, whether it be the dual power engine, Mazda MX-5 gearbox. You can buy it in kit form and build it at home, or we can factory build it for you here as a limited edition, number of 1 of 10 in this colour scheme, in the red and the gold, if you wanted to go that with the gold wheels, or you can choose your colour of choice if you want to go down a slightly different route. But further ado, it's great looking at this car around here, but let's head over to Andy and Lewis, give you a little test drive, see how the Sprint 185 goes.
Welcome to the interior segment of the Sprint 185. As you are aware from the walk around, this car does have a brand new 2-litre Durapower crate engine, and it is on Gen V throttle bodies, which you can hear quite nicely. Lovely little bark from those there. Now, having mentioned obviously the engine that this does come along with, going a little bit further back than what the engine sits in the car, you have the Mazda MX-5 Mark III NC gearbox. You haven't got to worry about any synchros or any bearings that could possibly be on their way out in a donor gearbox. You just have a brand new one ready to go straight into your car.
Having a kit that you can put together with peace of mind that it's all brand new components is certainly, it's a nice confidence-inspiring thought whilst you're putting together a whole brand new car.
Absolutely.
It's a brand new engine with warranty too.
So you've heard the noise of the throttle bodies in the car. Now going back to the exhaust setup, which this does come along with, it is the track day silencer with catalytic converter, so you haven't got to worry about any emissions for MOTs up past the 3-year date after the car is built. It will fly through those with ease, given that there is a catalytic converter inbuilt within the exhaust system. And of course, it's all well and good having a brand new engine and gearbox, but what's going to control the engine and gearbox, which isn't the driver? It's of course going to be the ECU. Now this does come along with the Motorsport Electronics ME360, I believe. And just to support the Motorsport Electronics ECU, it does support CAN bus as well. Now, going on to the interior specification, obviously you can see that me and Andy are sat in the GRP fiberglass seats. So as you can see from what we're looking at in the interior of the car, from the 360 camera above our heads, we do have the aluminium cut, laser cut dash, which obviously you have all of your cutouts for your dials in, all of your buttons, etc. So it makes for a nice clean look. This has actually been wrapped in some form of carbon fibre fabric, so this has adhesive on the back of that. And as you can see, the lights do light up on the dash as well. It makes for a nice sleek design with all your buttons and all your dials directly where they need to be. Now, having mentioned the seats which do come in this car, you can obviously see there are the 4-point harnesses which buckle in the middle. So sometimes getting in and out, you do have to adjust the tightness of the buckles a little bit more than what you would with the upgraded harnesses, but it still holds you in place as any racing harness would, and you'll feel nice and secure in the vehicle. Now, the suspension setup on this car, we do have the aluminium adjustable shock absorbers, independent rear suspension and inboard pushrod front suspension, which makes for a nice, comfortable and predictable drive out. You know this thing is going to handle like it is on rails. And another thing to aid with it handling like it's on rails is the 13-inch Compromotive CXR wheels with the Toyo R888R tyres. Now, we've spoken about the engine setup, the suspension setup and the interior specification of this car. Now the final thing to go over is the exterior specification. Now, as you can see on this car, it does come with the pre-coloured GRP bodywork, the sport rollover bar which you can see behind our heads, the cup nose cone, the LED rear light pack and the LED front lights as well, non-halos to get through IVA. And the finishing touch on the car is the Sprint 185 triple stripe pack, which was designed by myself. It's a bit of a different approach, especially with the first edition cars with the red and the gold, but I think it does add a nice touch and it makes it look like a modern classic sports car. So having mentioned the triple stripe pack which comes along with this car, being for the first edition, you can see a little plaque in between mine and Andy's arms. I don't know whether you can see it on camera. I'll put a little video of it on the screen now. This is number 1 of 10 of the first edition Sprint 185s. Obviously being the first one to ever roll out of the factory doors. Now, seeing as I'm not the one to be driving this car and taking customers out on test drives, in the vehicle. I'm going to pass you over to Andy to give you a little bit of a chat about how this car is to drive, what the gearbox and engine is like in comparison to some of the other models which we do, and give an overall review of what he thinks on this car.
So essentially, being the Cup chassis, it handles very much like the Cup car, just obviously with a little bit more weight. The MK billet calipers in the front are absolutely incredible. You could blindfold me and I wouldn't know if there was any difference between these and the Wilwoods. The engine feels nice and torquey, the engine note is absolutely sublime. It does feel like it wants to rev, but low down in the RPM it likes to trundle. It feels very, very, very happy just sitting at 50-60 mile an hour. I'm in 5th gear now, doing just over 2,000 RPM, and it's an absolute joy to drive. But if it does want to go a little bit more, it certainly isn't a slouch. It does feel like it wants to pick up in any gear.
Now, I tend to say when people are looking to specify these cars, if you're worried about the MPG which the car is going to get, then they may not be the car for you. However, this car is catered to the audience that wants to be doing those longer drives, those road trips to the south of France. And when you're doing those longer trips, you don't want to be living in fuel stations the entire way there. So if you are looking to do those longer trips, maybe take it down to your holiday home, and this definitely is the option for you.
Absolutely, we've been driving the car an hour or so now, we've barely made a dent in the fuel.
Now, I would go as far to say that this car is almost the perfect balance between drivability and speed. It's precise in its handling, you can get where you need to be, and if you do need to overtake someone, it's not shy of a few horsepower to be able to do so.
So that concludes the video for the Sprint 185. If you're interested in the model and you'd like to come down to the factory and have a look, you can give us a call, pop us an email, or go onto the website and book an appointment for a factory visit. We can take you out for a drive of the car, go over all the specifics of the model. We can then help you with any choices on options that you might want to have with the car. We can give you more information on the build and the processes to get it through the IVA. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.